Alrighty, patch 0.8.3. You know what that means? It means free captain specs, and more importantly... Ooh, I'll turn it down. There. Much better. More importantly, it means I'm gonna be able to get rid of this piece of garbage. We were kinda close. 15.2. I was kinda estimating off Wikipedia how much it would cost. I'm too lazy to play for the 6,000 experience, even though the Furious has supposedly gotten better, so we're just gonna hook this up. 6k free experience is expendable. Don't need a commander because I have free retraining right now. And thank fuck we're gonna be able to... Brown's favorite, and now we can sell this piece of garbage. I never want to see it again. Free melts. Let's do our first impressions. Where is my Implacable? Well, first let's put my commander back on. Music's still probably a bit loud. Train me. So right now we're on servicing time, but I might change that to last gasp depending on servicing. 94, 82, 82 as well. So 5% off servicing, it's like 4 seconds each over the course of a game. It's like 1 or 2 extra planes. Where's the last gasp? Hard to say. I'll leave it like this for now. So fighter planes I don't care about. It's really these two aircraft, the torpedo bombers and the dive bombers, you need to worry about. So if you upgrade the dive bombers, increase restoration time, yikes. But it increases the bombs and payload to 8, so it's quite an upgrade, as well as plane health. And then spearfish. So servicing time goes up. Put the aircraft on deck 12. 12. 9. Okay, so you don't get more planes. But it looks like at least for Spearfish, it's a pretty substantial upgrade. We'll worry about it in a second. First, I'll equip modules, so the airplane upgrades are pretty obvious for the first few slots. Engine boost. Oof, interface lag. So, sight. A lot of people prefer attack aircraft modification 1, but I actually prefer to use torpedo bombers. At least on the on the Americans and Japanese. However, with the British, with their kind of rapid increase in aiming accuracy, I think you actually don't need that as much. So here I'll take the attack aircraft modification. Even though I dislike using the fighters, hopefully these well, the Firefly starts this year. Default fighter. That's interesting. That is extremely interesting. Alright. So yeah, the only plane I'm really thinking about upgrading immediately is dive bomber. Now here we have a bunch of arguments to be made. So if it's anything like the Furious, I'll be relying on the torpedo bombers as the most reliable source of damage. Dive bombers modification also has some merit because the dive bombers spend most time over the target. As well, planes 1950 plus 90, whereas these are 2000. So the HE bombers are actually more tanky naturally, which means they get more benefit out of the percentage upgrade. I have 12 planes. How many planes in a flight? Aircraft per squadron? 8. 8x2 is just like the Shokaku. So I'm going to be ditching an attack wave a lot of the time. Alright, so I'm going to increase the torpedo bomber health, especially since these guys have to get up close. lastly, we can go for flight control, which further cuts down restoration time. Oh, more importantly, it increases carrier deck space. Concealment would be nice, but because I have low deck squadron size, I'm gonna go for servicing time. And like I said, I'm gonna upgrade the spearfish. Let's look at the stock bombers before we go. So we start with the ferry, barracuda, and we go to the spearfish. Okay. Purchase and mount. Oh, rest in pieces my free XP reserves. I had about 1.5 million, but I bought the Azuma, so. And we went to the spearfish. Show me these spearfish. Oh, interesting aircraft. Moving more towards post-war with the 5-bladed prop. And ammunition consumables, it's a carrier, so you don't have to do anything. Anything else we need to go over? You could put on some demolition flags, but I'm really just gonna leave her kinda naked. Put on my standard British flags. Oh, set the world on fire. And we got that Implacable perma camo, which I think actually looks quite nice. Wings of the Crown Implacable. Nice red camo. Alright, let's head out for our actual real-time first impression of the Implacable. Hopefully she stands up to both the Shokaku and the Lexington. Doesn't have to be better than the Lexington, but hopefully at least equal to the Shokaku. Would be quite a disappointment after all, if after all this work she was just a middling ship. Alright, got into a match. Let's see what we have. Oh, so we're fortunate enough to be top tier in our first match. There's a North Carolina to worry about, and the Irian kind of. So the Irian has potent base AA, but no defensive. Helena and Boise might give me a bit of trouble. And 2 DDs to hunt. All in all, pretty generous matchmaking. So let's see where we spawned. Oosh. A couple ping spikes there. So we're on North Domination, and we're in the middle. Gotta say, this is actually a very nice looking perma camo. So let's start with our plane. So the interface has changed a bit somewhat. Not sure how I feel about that. What does 5 out of 6 mean? 8 out of 8. How do I can't only have 6. Oh, it's saying I have 5 out of 6 of the next squadron. But I have to mouse over to get my total squadron sizes? Not sure how I feel about this interface change. Yes, it's less cluttered, but I'm getting less information. I'd rather see the 8 out of 14. Because I can memorize my squadron sizes. This is basically telling you if your next squadron will be up to size. Don't know how I feel about that. So what do we have here? HE rockets with 26mm of penetration. 1500 maximum damage. Okay. 1500. So I gained 5 damage in terms of getting HE pens. Oh, there's a Cossack. Alright, the rockets here, at least the stock rockets. Bear in mind, the only planes I upgraded are the dive bombers, or carpet bombers, I guess. Still doing absolutely minimal amounts of damage. The pattern is not as tight as the old Hurricanes, but that was a very decent shot. Coming around for another pass. So he's gonna keep turning in, it looks like. 10 knots. Not too bad. Oh, okay, whatever. Don't want to waste more time with him. Let's try the carpet bombers. He's all on his own. He's still really far behind the Irian. I want to see how the efficacy of these carpet bombers versus light targets. Nothing's in the cap. The Buki still hasn't been spotted. No, you could argue that I haven't done a great job scouting because I didn't look at everything, but I don't care. Like, the DDs will eventually scout. My main concern is, oh, he's not in radar range. Well, I almost surely went for the channel. Yep. See him? I'm not gonna bother dropping. The Cossack doesn't have the A to hold off tier 8 planes that are upgraded. I'm almost certain. Alright. Oh, I should have applied boost here. Ooh, that's a lot of bombs. That's quite a bit of lag time. So you can decrease the drop speed time by applying boost, I'm pretty certain. So let's try that. He's been forced out of the cap at the very least. Gonna lead him. Alright, one bomb, 700 per bomb. He's gonna die. Maybe he gets forced out of the smoke. Maybe he gets shotted again. Okay, good. So far we've done 4,000 damage. Not exactly the most impressive, but it's not too concerning. Let's go try out these bombers on the Irian since we only have 2 left anyway. Come on, turn up for us. Alright, well, not exactly perfect. 1500. Oh, still in the Barracudas. Just like the Furious. Well, the Furious Barracudas were a fine aircraft. So far the fire setting seems pretty decent. Fire's ticking on the Irian. Planes don't seem overall changed. I would normally ditch some squadrons, but oh, okay, he put out the fire. We're gonna go after that Irian again. But versus, I think what I'll do is probably just attack him 3 times and then leave with the last 2. Hard to say right now though. Planes have 10 kilometers of concealment instead of 9, which is interesting. Standard concealment I'm used to on both the Americans and the Japanese is 9. Well, Japanese torpedo bombers actually are even better than that, but it's not worried about that. So we'll have 10 seconds of aim time. And yep, just like before, we have some wiggle room. I'm gonna land 1. Looking for a flooding. Oh, broken engine is good too. He damage controlled instantly. Oh, plane's getting kind of low. Pop the heel. Still hit him. Good. This is gonna be the last strike. I don't really want to lose plane reserves. Gonna turn in. Hard to say. Well, actually, my planes are still fairly healthy. Got the flooding. That's gonna stick. Okay. I'm gonna lose these planes. So it's only worth it if I hit the torpedoes. Oh, he has the camo. Nice. Looks like they're on track to hit him. Should be a kill. Yep, he's gonna flood. 7 out of 8 on the next squadron. Yep, there's the kill. I'm gonna keep launching torpedo bombers. There's a vulnerable Colorado back there. I nodded my head towards the screen, but obviously you can't see that. So I'm talking about this Colorado. The torpedo bombers are pretty responsive, but that's to be expected. Same ones as the Furious, really. The spread actually feels a bit wider. I'm not sure if that's just confirmation bias or something. Or it could just be that the planes are dropping from a further distance. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, for some reason the spread feels somewhat wider than the Furious's, which is obviously not good. Decreases my accuracy, but the Alpha seems perfectly fine. Oh, I actually love how you can wiggle these while you're aiming. Ooh, and there's the Lexington. Not really worth going after a carrier this early. I might go after him with the next two. Just hitting my air brakes, shall we say. You know what? If I'm gonna commit damage, because this guy's pretty high health. Flooding, he's gonna commit damage control. Lexington committed a fighter. Alright. Oh, and my hull seems to be moving quite fast. Just nice. One hit. Oh, he's gonna die. So I lifted off the HE dive bombers because I wanted to see the spread pattern on the battleship, but looks like he's gonna burn from whatever hit him. North Carolina's... oh, it was me. Wasn't paying attention. Apparently I'm still flooding. Keep moving my hull. Ooh, lots of low health targets there. Gonna go for that Eugen if these two at the front die. Alright, scratch one. Just gonna drop this guy fighter because there's attack planes nearby and he's very low. Aircraft carrier detected by what? Oh, by the airplanes, of course. He has this fighter up. How much time do we get? 10 seconds. So we wouldn't have reached him, so I just ditched them. Fighters tagged me, so he's gonna take two of my... oh, shoot. Alright, well, that sucked. Okay, don't do what I just did. The Eugen fighter is stronger than I thought it would be. Okay. My Mogami's being harassed. Gonna have a fighter up. Yep, Lexington coming after him with DBs, so. Drop the fighter. And we'll go after the North Carolina now. Still not an ideal target. Actually, maybe we can go for that Bismarck. Even having taken some HE damage, it's more than likely that Bismarck's gonna be less thorny of a target. Aircraft carrier under attack. Someone's shooting me? Come on, guys. I have an armored flight deck. Don't do that. The armored flight deck isn't as impressive as that you might find on the tier 10s, I reckon. Who's had lead time? Alright, so I'm under leading, it looks like. Hit one bomb. Let's try again. Honestly, the ideal target to go for is the Monarch, because the Monarch's covered in thin armor, but he's easier to access right now. There we go. Wow. Well, these bombs are tons stronger than the ones on the Furious. The Furious dropped 4 per payload before. I know now she drops 8, but still, it's nothing to write home about, basically. Got a fire on the Bismarck, so we'll go back for the Flood, especially because he's separating from the back like that. Ooh, this game is close. Gonna have to kill all these people. You know what, I'm gonna go for the North Carolina. Because he's low, we need to finalize a kill. Ditch some bombers, still don't want to risk them all. Yeah, we're gonna finalize this. Pop my speed boost. Yeah, he might hit those torps, but he might not, you know? That's one of those. He dodged them, see? Actually, just love how I can swing the planes out. this. Yes, the fire might tick him, but the fire might not tick him. So better finalize. So we're up points, but we're down on ships. Now we're equalized. Just gonna drop a fighter, but I only have 2 attack waves left, so I don't really care. I actually want his fighter to tag my planes. So what I'm gonna do is drop those and arm these. Come on, arm. Good. So now the fighters are tagged. I'm gonna use the invulnerability window to try and despawn them. And oh, okay. Looks like they died to the AA. But I think they got the fighter, which is what I'm after, because now I have a full attack wave. Maybe I shouldn't have healed, because now my full squadron doesn't have a heal, but whatever. This is a pretty precarious situation. Lexi dropped a fighter for him, but he moved out of it. Seems to be stopped. Oh, now he's moving. Air brakes, flooding. Bismarck doesn't have very excellent torpedo bulges. Yeah, I get to readjust the fighter position because it wasn't cutting it. Let me see if I can get out of the zone. Nope. Fighter tagged me. Well, it's fine. Let's try the HE dive bombers again since we got that flood. Pop our boosts. Boosting aggressively can be poor, but that's also useful. So you saw earlier when I lost those 4 dive bombers to the Prince Eugen, kind of really ate through our reserves. We haven't been able to field a full squadron of dive bombers since, which is pretty crippling, to be honest. Come on, get a fire. That's all I want. 8 bomb hits for 3,000, but no fire. Oh, we got a kill though. And the fighter's eating through our small squadron size. Christ. Okay. I don't know what my carrier's doing, but I have to attack the Monarch. Still 1 boost. Why am I dropping a fighter? Well, no reason really. It's not really that pointful. He's shooting AP at me. I'm angling away now though. Whoa, okay. That's a bit awkward. Got a bit distracted, trying to protect myself, so I'm gonna miss those. The torpedoes themselves are quite slow still, as they've always been. Pop the heal. He's maneuvering. So the reason I reversed my carrier is just to keep it moving straight. I want to keep my armor angled at him. Uh-oh. Am I gonna lose this game because I'm stupid? It's possible. Okay, good. Couldn't get a really accurate drop for that, but he's wide. He's a battleship, so I'm still gonna get my 2 hits. Good. Move this way. Let's go for a follow-up fire. Bouncing off the border. He needs to aim correctly. If he aims correctly, I'll probably just die instantly. I think I'll go for 1 drop with these, and then I'll recall it. didn't get the fire I wanted. My North Carolina needs to help me. Come on. Oh, I'm dead. So these are the last planes I'm gonna have. Got that flood. Should be dead if I do this properly. It's more important to get the torpedo in the water than to get it tight. Oh, I'm gonna miss. Problem is the caps. I'm not sure. Gonna try and give some directions. Ah, that was sloppy. Maybe if I'd kept running instead of just turning for the border. My mistake there, I guess. I didn't want to give side though. If I'd given side, I might have died earlier. Anyhow, but that's besides the point. Outside of playing the actual game and getting my team slaughtered by the Lexington, we did okay. Like we saw there, still using mostly the torpedoes. The dive bombers much more usable than the Furious, but still nothing special at all. He's actually going to kill the North Carolina, so it might not have mattered anyway. But yeah, pretty solid. Gonna watch the Lexington finish this guy, and we can get to the score screen and talk about the game. So, 200,000 credits, 2,000 experience on a loss, which is not bad at all. 150 damage for top tier, 21 torpedo hits, 24 cluster bomb hits, but only 2 fires, and 8 rockets. The rockets seemed fine, nothing outstanding. Top of the table, as expected, Nasasha, who's managed to die. Unsurprisingly, most of our damage came from battleships, but there is a bunch of damage on that Irian that we went after quite early on. Torpedoes seem very serviceable. Still a torpedo-focused ship for sure. Like Torpedo Alpha 90,000. I don't really get that as much when I'm playing the Lexington, for example. The Lexington, I get a lot of bomb damage because the dive bombers are the primary armament. And even the Shokaku, where the torpedoes are very strong, the dive bombers usually end up being about equal to the torpedo bomber damage just because of the high alpha. And also quite a few dots this game, so I'm not sure if that's gonna be a norm or the exception. But anyhow, yeah, my first impressions of the Implacable, much better than the Furious that she upgraded from. Much better. Quite pretty too. And not a bad ship. I'm gonna put some more playtime into her, and later we'll see where my thoughts go. And yeah, thanks for watching.